I want to discuss this now with our CNN legal analyst, Jeffrey Toobin and Laura Coates. Jeff, the fact the president may be looking at proposals to break up the Ninth Circuit, is that even something he can do?
Well, he can't do it. Congress has to do it. But this is not something that's new. There have been proposals by mostly conservative senators for decades to try to break up the Ninth Circuit and, break what is regarded as a liberal bastion in the Court of Appeals. But it is clear that that can only be done by Congress. Congress added an 11th Circuit. They split up the 5th in 1981. So this is not wildly unprecedented. It's just something that Congress hasn't thought necessary to do.
Right. I mean, because Laura, the president seems to be implying certainly that people go to the Ninth Circuit because they know it'll rule in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, his argument is that it's basically forum shopping. But in order to change and break up the circuit, it would have to be based on bureaucratic backlog or efficiency, not about ideological differences with the President of the United States. Remember, this court has 9 different states that it oversees. It's 18 of the 25 active judges are actually appointed by Democrats, which obviously is going to perhaps infuriate a Republican president. However, it's not the basis to actually break it up if it's based on ideology as opposed to administration of justice.
Laura, is there a difference, you think, for the president criticizing a judge's decision and criticizing the judge himself? Because other presidents have certainly called out decisions they disagree with. President Obama did it during a State of the Union address, criticizing Citizens United.
Certainly, which, it's about blaming the message versus the messenger. And effectively what Trump is doing is saying the messenger is the problem.
But Jeff, why shouldn't somebody be able to criticize the judge?
I find it amazing that everyone is getting the vapors over Donald Trump criticizing these judges. These judges are powerful people. They serve for life. They are completely unaccountable. Why shouldn't they be criticized? I mean, I criticize them. I don't see why Donald Trump can't criticize them. The one thing he has not done is suggested that he won't comply, like the way President Andrew Jackson did. But, these people are important. They're big boys and girls. They can take some criticism. I don't see anything wrong with Donald Trump criticizing both the message and the messenger.
Well, I do. And I think a lot of people have that same perception when he criticizes them based on his perception of what their nationality might be. I know you agree with that, Toobin, in terms of when he complained about the judge who may oversee one of his Trump university
Judge
cases.
Curiel.
Judge Curiel. I mean, certainly when you're talking about the criticism of the messenger himself, my point is that when you criticize a judge based on non-legal grounds or grounds that have nothing to do with their actual mission and job and the judiciary, I think it is offensive.
Well, candidate Trump's racist attack on Judge Curiel was beyond the pale. But,
yes.
He demoralizing? Are these people so sensitive that they can't take some criticism?
What's interesting, though, about this is part of this judge's ruling on the sanctuary city case was based on things the president and his administration officials have said about sanctuary cities. And we've sort of seen judges doing this before, certainly on the immigration the case on the ban from 7 countries, the temporary ban. I want to play the quotes that the judge himself cited on this.
I don't want to defund anybody. I want to give them the money they need to properly operate as a city or a state. If they're going to have sanctuary cities, we may have to do that. Certainly that would be a weapon.
The Department of Justice will also take all lawful steps to claw back any funds awarded to a jurisdiction that willfully violates 1373.
And the president's going to do everything he can within the scope of the executive order to make sure that cities who don't comply with it, counties and other institutions that remain sanctuary cities, don't get federal government funding in compliance with the executive order.
Is this appropriate, Jeff, for this judge to use things the president and his advisors have said publicly against him?
I do, especially, since this is part of what was going on. But remember, this is an old controversy, and there's a famous Supreme Court case where the court said it's okay for Congress to say, if you want federal highway money, you have to raise the drinking age to 21. Congress could pass a law about sanctuary cities. That would be permissible. The problem here was that Trump did it without congressional authorization.
We gotta leave there. Jeffrey Toobin, Laura Coates, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.